So this is our first alum meeting. Latrina and I today were like, we need to come up with a good name for this. Like,
I didn't realize this was the first. Yay.
yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, Jacqueline, for you and actually Khadija, you guys were kind of with me way back when we were trying to get it, but just
Right.
with forming and of course just timing and me being only one person. So
Right.
we're revamping, we're redoing, we're reconvening. I don't want to say reconvening, we're starting off fresh. So excited.
Yes. I understand. That's great. That's good to hear.
Yeah,
Glad to
and
hear.
good. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Yeah, and so we wanted to get together and just do a bit of brainstorming together and kind of see, as Rankin Scholar alums, how you might be interested in keeping in touch, because we know there's a fine balance in this, right? Like those of us who are alums, obviously we're real busy during school and now have a variety of lives after graduating, depending on our jobs and our families and what's going on. So we would never want to like put pressure on people or make people feel like they had to, give more back or whatever. But at the same time, we also think we have like such a powerful community and bond. Those of us who are alums here, and so we would like, we don't want to just let that go. We also want to see like, what can we grow from that? Even if it is just, meeting quarterly and volunteering together to read applications and then, whatever else we can build from that. And that was when I graduated. So I graduated with my bachelor's in 2019. And when I graduated, that was kind of like the first way I stayed connected, was becoming a volunteer application reader, which I just loved. Like, I just feel like what an amazing way. And it didn't, I want to say to give back, but like, it didn't feel like it took much out of me, honestly. You know what I mean? Because it was fun and inspiring. And I would read these applications and be like, oh my gosh, like I was just there. Hi, Louisa. Louisa is on a roll because she came to our Scholar Zoom night. She finished her bachelor's degree a couple of weeks ago, and now she's on the alum night.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so that was something, a way for me to stay connected was reading the scholarship applications. And so I definitely encourage people to do that. And that, like I said, like that doesn't even feel like a big commitment, just because it's such a short time of the year. And it's so enjoyable, I guess is what I want to say, right? It didn't feel like, oh, this is hard volunteer work, because it's just so beautiful and enjoyable. And so that's like, for any of you alums who haven't done that, I definitely encourage doing that. And Latrina, what's the best way for people to get in that groove?
Well, now it's probably the best time because that way I can add you in. Now, Jacqueline, I'm quite sure, has done it in the past. And so normally if you've ever done it in the past, I reach out every year, just to see if you're interested. So if you can let me know tonight if you're interested. I'm going to tell you where your start off at is what we call level 1. And that traditionally happens mid-March. So mid-March, and for about 2.5 weeks is the window that you have to get into our app and read it. It's done. The good thing about it, you can do it wherever you are, even if you're on vacation. You can pick up your iPad or whatever and still read these applications and submit the scores. On average, I like to kind of give some stats. It depends. I try not to provide no more than 12 apps for you to read, which is very doable. I'm telling you, it is, to get done probably in about, I'm going to say 5 hours, and that's pushing it. It just depends on what type of reader you are and how much you like to review that app, because some people read it multiple times before submitting a score. But it's really straightforward. So if you add the hour, hour and a half that you got to spend with me on training, because you just have to, I walk you through step by step how to do it. and it's
Mhm.
really easy. And then you have about 2.5 weeks to get it read. And I will say that is probably, outside of awarding the scholar grants, I think that's probably one of the best ways to give back, because no matter when you came on as a scholar, you have an opportunity to see what that back end process looks like. And I'll
Right.
warn you, go ahead and get your tissues, because you get an opportunity to read the amazing, phenomenal stories of, unfortunately tragedy, but also triumph of the applicants who are just ready and willing to get in there and get it back going. So I would love to have all alums read applications. So that's for y'all on the call and those
Yeah.
that will watch the replay. I think that would just be an amazing stat to share out.
Right. Well, count me in. Count me in. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do it.
I don't mind. I don't mind helping out.
Okay. And again, we won't start back up until March of
Okay.
2024, because
Right.
we're making the happy phone calls, as we call them right now. But we'll
Oh,
start.
wow.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are the best phone calls.
Yeah, it is.
I
Agreed.
remember mine as if it was yesterday.
Yes.
Yay.
And when does the training start, Latrina?
It's not until March. It's
Oh,
every
okay.
year. We normally do about that first week. In Georgia, I try and get it outside of the spring break. I think spring break is in April, but I normally try and miss, anything that's going on. But like this past March, it was March 5th and 7th, I think it was.
Mhm.
So traditionally that first week, because normally that next week, mid-March, we start level 1 reading.
Okay.
But you'll know
Okay.
way before time.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And also this next year too, like we have just so much great stuff going on here. And I don't know, I'm sure some of you know, but maybe not all of you know that we have this new Montana Scholar project too. And so those applications will also merge into our other applications next year. So you would get to read those too. And those are amazing. They're all people who are students who are at tribal colleges in Montana. And the age is a little younger than our general one. It's kind of like the Georgia one where it's age 25 and up. And that has been really exciting too, because we have a whole new group. Thank you, Louisa. Said add her
Yes.
name to the list. We have a whole new group and area of a lot of scholars too, which has just been really exciting this year. So off of that, so my thought was aside from possibly reading scholarship applications during that time, I would love to get a feel. And for those of you, watching this recording too, who aren't here, you could please feel free to email me or call me. I would love to get a feel too, if anyone is willing to maybe once in a while attend one of our scholar support hours calls. We did that this last semester for the first time. We had one in March and one in April. We had an alum come, and each of them happened to be in master's degree programs. And so it was so great. They just, I let the scholars know, okay, this person is getting their master's of social work right now, and they're going to be at this scholar support hour. And so our scholar support hours are typically Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. But what I have mentioned to other alums is, if say that you'd be willing to give an hour of your time to talk to scholars about your job or your, grad school program, or something that you changed your life about, finishing college, I would also be open to being flexible. Like if you absolutely just cannot do Tuesday at 6 p.m., I'd be open to making something else work if you'd be willing to connect with scholars. And both of those times were really great. I think there was just something special about this current scholars meeting with an alum who was now pursuing something that so many of the scholars on the call were so interested in. And they're some of them were filling out grad school applications right now, or thinking, should I go to grad school or not? And so you don't have to be in grad school. I mean, it could even be like you're a teacher or whatever you work in. I know for me, when I was in college, I went to school for occupational therapy. And every time I met an occupational therapist while I was in school, I was like so excited to ask any questions, like, what's your job like? What do you do in the morning when you get to work? Where should I steer clear of? And I know for a fact that our scholars right now feel like that too with their fields. They're so excited about their fields. So if anyone would be willing to come, we're done now for the summer for the scholar support hours, but we will start back on August 15th, if that's a Tuesday. I should have double checked just now. We're gonna start back. Is that a Tuesday, Latrina? Oh, good. That's the date in my head. So after that, like if you would have just one Tuesday where you would be willing to come and talk to the scholars on Zoom, we would really appreciate it. And I think it's such a great way to connect and to stay connected. And then similar to that, before I hear your thoughts on it, just want to say something similar is just any ideas of mentorship, because that was another thing that this year, and this, I just finished one full year of working at the Rankin Foundation, which I'm so thankful for. So thank you. So so my experience is this past year, but this past year I did have a few scholars ask, can you get me in touch with someone who has their master's in business, or who had like a certain degree that they were interested in. They wanted to talk about possibly like switching majors, or if grad school was really important to the job they wanted. And again, I think the power of like talking to someone in your field is just so cool. So I'd also love to know, and that could be, like a one-time conversation. Like that could be a very little time, or that could be like an ongoing relationship where like you don't mind if they contact you once in a while, and we could talk, about like boundaries or time availability, because this is just kind of a new idea. But if anyone would have that interest too, I would love to know how feasible that seems, or like just if that's something that sounds interesting as an alum.
I like that idea. I'd be willing to be a mentor if someone needs one in the field of education. That's my field.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. And I know sometimes people just want to ask a couple of questions, and it's so cool to just be able to, like, instead of Googling it, like ask an individual with real experience.
Right, because I want to let inspiring educators know that, there's so many ways to use your degree in education. I taught in the classroom for a few years, but I've been working in education departments for different organizations. And I've been working in the education department for at the Children's Museum for 6 years now, maybe
That's right.
7. And so, just experimental learning environments are so important now, because they're supporting so many things that can't happen in the classroom. So I'd love to talk about that. So yeah, if anybody needs my information, yeah, please.
Okay, yeah. And let me know too, if you can think about it too, and let me know closer to fall if you'd ever be interested in joining us for a Zoom night too. Yeah, thanks. For one of those Zoom calls. They're just an hour long.
Okay.
And I was thinking, Breezy, maybe we can start some type of contact list. Jacqueline, you just made me think of something, because if you are interested in the mentoring piece, is, just ensuring that we're sharing out whatever information you want us to share. We have another educator, Tiffany. I'm glad Tiffany is jumping on. So Jacqueline, letting us know what contact information would be, the best for you, whether that's email and or your direct phone number, and maybe even Breezy adding times on there that would work. So we want to just ensure if we're making that connection, we are being mindful of their availabilities and things of that nature.
Absolutely.
Okay. Hi, Tiffany. So glad to have you on, my sister. Long time no see.
Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yes.
Okay, I've been having some issues with my camera and recording stuff all day today. How are you guys?
Amazing.
Good. Good. I'm so glad you joined us.
Yes, I was on here trying to get in at 6 o'clock
Oh,
and I realized that it was at 7 o'clock. I was waiting. I tried to text you. I don't know if you saw it, but yes, it is good to see everybody.
Oh, hey, wait. Nobody's gonna send you anywhere.
Likewise. So Tiffany, I'll bring you up to speed so Breezy doesn't have to repeat herself. What we have been talking about, we are trying to get like the alums almost kind of a little more connected. We talked about it for many years, but unfortunately, with me being one person, it just wasn't realistic. I'm so grateful that Breezy is on board and now is going to oversee this. And as she just has celebrated her 1-year anniversary, what better than to grab the alums and bring them on board? So what she was just asking and trying to solicit everybody's feedback as to if they would be interested in joining we have weekly scholar support hours. We're kind of on break now. Well, she's on break now. She'll pick them back up August the 15th. And what we've done in the past is she was just talking about, we've had some of the individuals who've gone through grad school that came back and kind of shared their experience with our current scholars. Jacqueline was just sharing that she would be willing, with you being an educator as well. I think you both could probably tag team and jump on if you're available to share about your experience as an educator, and more importantly, you could kind of take over one of the Zoom calls to do that and share in your own way there. And so mentoring is another key component. We know that there's power in it, and who better to mentor them than one of their sisters who really understands the life that they're currently in, because you've lived it, you've actually succeeded at it, and you're just on the other side of success. So those are some opportunities that we would love to you to think about and see and share with Breezy if you're available and are interested in jumping on the Zoom and taking over a Zoom one night to kind of almost encourage, celebrate, do whatever you need to do to get your sisters, keep them moving, because it's always good to see somebody who has succeeded at it and are now working in that field. But again, mentoring is another opportunity as well.
Okay, yes, it will definitely be something I can think about. I am honestly, I'm so overwhelmed with being a teacher and being a caregiver to my son, because my son has autism, and I just started grad school. So I just started today. I've been doing homework. I've literally been in the house doing homework all day already.
Look at you.
I'm really trying to go forward, like I said I was going to do with my bachelor's, getting my master's, and I'm really trying to just branch out. But it's just been really it's been challenging over the last year. But I would definitely still like to use myself and my story to inspire some individuals that might be in a situation like I'm in, and just encouraging them to go forth and don't give up. Because I mean, many times I wanted to give up during that time I was in school. So to be all the way here is a huge accomplishment, even though I'm still, hanging on by a thread. I'm here. So I would love to be able to find a way to give back to especially this foundation, because you guys were my biggest blessing with me getting my degree. So so that's definitely something that me and Breezy can talk about.
Great.
yeah. Thank you so much, Tiffany. Yeah, thank you. And also, I definitely would it wouldn't be like a high pressure thing, and it definitely wouldn't have to be a particular month. Like I say, you saw a month coming that was a little lighter feeling for you. It could be that. I mean, it could even be in a year or two. I wouldn't want you to feel pressured. And that's what I did this last semester with the 2 alums who visited on those nights. I just left it really wide open to them. And they both definitely had preferences of, easier weeks and dates because they were both in grad school too. So yeah, so it could definitely, it's not like something that needs to happen right now. And it could definitely be like, once you're a little further into this program and you see like, oh, like December, maybe you'll be lighter or heavier, or, a different month in spring or something. I would be grateful for that too.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, like those breaks that I get with teaching, those weeks would be perfect. We get like a fall break. I think it's like a fall break and then Thanksgiving break. And then December, then we get a winter break in February, and then we get a spring break. So those would definitely be the times that I'm more available, and I would love to join you guys and, meet with some of my other JRF sisters.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And actually those breaks work really well for us. I always have a better turnout around around holidays. I love it. I always have more scholars get on the calls. Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
One other question. Well, something we've been thinking about, and this is a little more like a far off, like a dream kind of plan, is that we would love at some point here, now that we're moving past the pandemic, thankfully, to try to hold some like in-person gatherings. We're thinking maybe like some regional gatherings. Our team is a bit spread out now. I live in Michigan. I don't know if any of you know that, but I live in Michigan. Latrina's in Georgia. We have our team spread out. We have our board members spread out. We have scholars and alums all over the place. And so that's just like a little kind of seed we've just been thinking about and excited about, is wouldn't it be cool if we could do like regional like lunches or just little get-togethers and meet in person. So that's just another thing that we've thought about recently, how to keep in touch and keep our community strong and growing. But if any of you have ideas too, I would love to hear them. If like, I know you're all intelligent, creative people. So if any of you have any ideas of how to, keep our community growing and together, but without being overwhelming or adding like, another layer to your to-do list kind of thing. And Louisa, I know you just finished school so it might be hard to guess that, but even for you, like if you have any ideas of Kim just graduated too, of like how that could possibly look.
Well, I don't have any ideas off the top of my head. I'll think about it, but being that I did just graduate, I wanted to say that the mentor idea was actually a really great one, but I don't think I can quite put my name on that list quite yet. Like, I'm still figuring things out and trying to find a job, and I'll let you know if what happens with that. But the opportunity to get together with other scholars, alums would be great. I would definitely welcome that.
Wonderful. And you're in New York, right? So that would probably be a good place because there's a lot of people in New York.
Are there? Look, I just got here. Good to know.
Yeah. Great.
I was thinking like, I don't know if you guys have where you can send out like a form and everyone put like I'm trying to think some way to send out like a form where we can kind of see who's all in Georgia, who's all in the metro Atlanta area, who's all in, the states where you guys are at, and then being able to start there and make some connections. Because I believe on the grad snap, when I was just looking through grad snap one time, I believe there was like another JRF scholar at Kennesaw State. And I was like, wow, I didn't know they had somebody else here at KSU. And I would have loved to connect with that person. So if we had like a form we can fill out, and then we all can kind of see where everyone is. And then from there, create some type of meeting space for us to be able to meet up and connect with one another.
Yeah, I love that idea. That is such a great idea. I love it. Because then we could also get like interest, and if people are okay with sharing their location with other alums and scholars. I love that idea. Thank you so much. I did not think of that.
Yeah, and you're right, Tiffany. There was somebody that was there, and we pushed it. But however, I didn't push it to the level to force the connections to happen, because I understand as a current scholar, you already got enough going on, but that's the case. And sadly, we're going to be moving away from grad snap, so we don't have that connector anymore. So some type of form, Breezy, would be amazing. Like I said, even as I'm thinking about the mentoring component, that would be shareable. And that might be something we need to talk to Wise Hive about, as to if we can have that access. We're about to embrace a new scholar grant portal. And so it's called Wise Hive. It's through Zengen. So any of these ideas would certainly be probably just another layer for them to think about. So thank you for that suggestion. And anything else around that, I think we certainly would welcome the idea. Well, we welcome all ideas, but this is the best stage for us to probably get some type of structure implemented, that we can move forward through that system that would give everybody access to the information that'll be shared out.
And we're not leaving grad snap just to confuse everyone. We must. Just to let you know.
We're forced out the door.
We're forced.
Well, they're closing. I will be transparent. They just decided they no longer wanted to invest the time, effort, and energy into the Scholar Grant portal. And of course, we love it. We love Grad Snap. It's really user friendly. Now it has its moments, but yeah. So that's why we are now had to search out a new Scholar Grant portal.
Well, I would love to. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to ask, will the former scholars like myself still be able to be kind of like a part of that portal, or is it just for like new applicants and current applicants?
No, ma'am. We're working with them now to ensure that we can pull over all of our historical data, because that's how we still keep in touch. When we send out the alum emails, and we need to talk about those surveys, by the way, Breezy, while I'm thinking about it. We are trying to make sure all of that information is transferred. I will say this, and I want to make sure that you kind of understand how we have traditionally moved forward when you move from current scholar over into alum status. Traditionally, we kind of migrate you over into our donor database. And so if you have ever seen information from Network for Good, the reason we did that, because it can handle the numbers a lot better than our scholar portal is. And it was just a way for us to differentiate the two. So Tiffany, I don't know, do you get the emails, all of the email communications? Most of them come from Karen. Do you get those now?
I think I've gotten some from Karen on my Yahoo email.
Okay.
And I get the ones from you, and this one I got on my Gmail. So I might need to go back in and look at what email address I have in there, because I never really checked the Yahoo email.
Okay.
Just the Gmail one. So I'll go back and grab into Grad Snap and update. I might need to go in there and change something around.
Yeah. That's great, Tiffany. Thanks for bringing. That's why we normally ask, like, especially if you had a school email, to always make sure you update that information. A great point to segue over into. You won't get the postgraduate survey. The first one doesn't come out until 6 months. So Tiffany, you should have gotten a 6 month and a year. Kim, if it went to Yahoo, then maybe that's why you maybe haven't gotten it. I don't know. Have you gotten a survey from a completed survey from Tiffany Breezy? I'm putting her on the spot. I'm putting Breezy on the spot. And Kim, because you're fresh out.
I don't know. Yeah.
Louise, the same. Now, Jacqueline, I know we got your updated, and Commissioner Khadija, I don't know, have you received any of those? Well, you've been out more than a year, so I don't know if you would have even been in either of the rounds. Likewise, maybe you either, Jacqueline.
Should I have gotten an email already or no?
No,
Okay. Okay.
not yet. No,
No,
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
You and Lisa just graduated, so no.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so pretty much what we've been doing is you graduate, and then 6 months later, we send a 6-month graduate survey. And then 6 months after that, we send a 1-year graduate survey. And that historically has been it, just kind of to keep in touch. But a couple weeks ago, to those of you who are on here who are far out graduated, I did send an alum survey. Did you guys see that? Did you all see that?
Yeah,
The
I
alum?
completed it, I believe.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Commissioner Khadija. We got it. We'll note it and make sure we update it. Thank you so much for jumping on.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Yeah.
you tonight, and we'll be in touch.
Yes. Thank you. I'm just gonna save that information real quick. Yeah, so thank you for completing that. So the alum survey, it was also kind of a new idea to go along with all of this, that of how we can keep in touch. So Tiffany, you might have that waiting for you.
Yeah, I'm looking now.
Okay.
I'm looking now. I see that something was sent May 31st, May 22nd of last year or this year. I mean,
Yeah, it would be this year.
this
Oh,
year.
yeah.
I'm not seeing anything unless you sent it to my Yahoo. And I can tell you that last year, after I graduated, I was severely stressed going into teaching in elementary. I had a lot on my plate. And I was more so checking the teacher email and dealing with all of that stuff. So I wasn't even checking my Gmail consistently. But I'm looking now, and I don't know why. I put in the search Alum survey. Maybe I'll just put your name and see if anything comes up.
Or search scholars at Rankin Foundation, that email, because that may pull it up. Breezy, you sent it through GradSnap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we do have, Tiffany, we got the Gmail
Yep.
in there.
Yeah, it's your Gmail.
Okay, I see. I'll look through, and when I find it, I'll fill it out.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Now, I do see 6 months post-graduation survey.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it says it was sent January 19th. So yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay, I'll fill it out. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have just about 19, 20 minutes left here. Latrina, did you have any other like points of what things you want to talk about?
I want to just mainly talk about this because Khadija just dropped it in the chat. She said something that I think is certainly worthy to share here, and for those that'll watch the replay. If when, I'm gonna be honest with you, Louisa, our team is in New York or New Jersey. I mean, they're right there, like Thursday. Literally on Thursday, and I don't know that I knew you were there. And oftentimes when we have events, we normally like to invite a scholar over to be present and to be there, and to, as Khadija just mentioned, to speak and to share your story. And when I say story, it's really brief. Normally when we're having an event, you have, and Jacqueline knows this because she's done several, we have anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes to share, our story. So we have to kind of do our elevator speech. But it's just a great way for you to be in the atmosphere of those who love the foundation, who give financially to the foundation. Also, it's a great networking opportunity, because when you're in an area, you have an opportunity to touch arms with some phenomenal people. I know the Alyssa, whose house they will be at, she teaches at Columbia. I mean, again, I can just go down the list and start naming just the connections of individuals, but I think it's a great opportunity for you to get your face out there, to meet people as an alum. And again, I'm telling you, probably make some connections of a lifetime and network with them. So certainly think about that opportunity as well when you're wanting to get connected with us, and how you can continue to stay connected with us at various events. Breezy, we talked about, and I want to talk about this because I definitely don't want to end on this, but I think it's something that, there is power in numbers. When I originally took over the position way back when, almost 8 years ago, I was working directly with the alums, and that was kind of my goal and mission. And I'm going to talk about it because I think I know we can do this. I want for the alums to be able to sponsor and fund a scholar grant every year. We can do that. If we had, I crunched numbers back then, I think we had about 400 women. I think we had about 400 women that were kind of active and engaged. And I'm going to be honest with, if we had those 400 that would commit, I'm going to pull up my calculator. So, my math is mathing right and not incorrect at this point. I'm just going to do 400. Oh, not 0.400. Hold on. Listen, 400, I did by $25. That's $10,000. Okay. This is why I normally like to share realistic numbers. If I could get my sisters to commit, and even if it was $5, some people can do 5, some people can do 25, some people can do more than 25. If we could do that, and I'm going to challenge you while I got you got your attention. If it's only $5 that you can give, set that up on a recurring payment. That's how I give, because I don't do it, I'll forget. I just set it up, and every month they just bing my little account and get my money out of it, because I know, and especially having been a scholar grant recipient, Tiffany, you said it best, just what that meant for us to be there to provide that support. I want it to be said that the alums, care so much that they're funding a scholar grant, not in 23, but in 24 and 25 and on and on and on. I mean, when all of us start making $1 bazillion, we can endow. I'm just going to drop that in there for you to think about it, since we're not there yet. But I think, guys, girls, sisters, you're not guys. Wouldn't that be phenomenal to be able to fund a scholar grant? I mean, I get fired up about that, because that means we're helping to transform.
I like that idea, Katrina. That sounds like that's amazing.
Look, well, Jacqueline, you've been tag teaming. Me and Jacqueline have did the peer-to-peer together for the last 3 years, I think. How long have you been on the board, Jacqueline?
Since 2018, I believe.
Yeah, so Jacqueline is on the board, who is alum. This is another opportunity, because normally we have a Rankin Scholar alum on the board. Jackie, when do you roll off? Or have you already rolled? When do you roll off?
I don't know. I just signed again.
Well,
But I
not
think
really.
it's normally 6, is it 6 years normally?
I don't remember.
I
Don't
don't know. I
don't
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 know.
get me to telling one. However, again, that could potentially be even another opportunity if you have an interest in being on and serving on a board. Trust you me, this board is one that you will learn a lot of stuff from, right, Jacqueline?
Definitely, definitely. It's been a game changer for me in so many areas of my
Awesome.
life. Yeah.
But thanks, Kim. I just really think we can do it. I know that we can if we can get, the sisters. And I'm grateful for, oh my goodness, I don't want to start calling out names, but Dina, we have some of our former alums who have actually given enough to award a scholar grant. They
Yeah,
have,
that's amazing.
because thankfully they're financially stable and secure enough to do it. But again, I'm telling you, there is power in numbers. And if we wouldn't I just don't want people to get caught up. Well, no, I may not be able to give 100, but okay, give me 5 and give me $5 consistently. And just think about how that can add up if we had even the 400. Let me go back because I gave you 25, but I want to share with you what the 400 times. Even if you did $5, if everybody did that, $5 by 400, that's $2,000 right there. I mean, numbers have power. They do. So
Yes.
I'm gonna get off my soapbox about that, but we can
No,
do it.
you're right. You're right. Because, I think about, I'm like at Starbucks twice a day. You know what I'm saying? And many hands make light work, right? So I
Yes.
would much rather give that money, even that $5, that's power in that. Collectively, if we do it that way, or give what you can, or even give more. And sometimes when you get more, you may have your $5 recurring, but you may be able to give a little bit more one month. And you know what I mean? So yeah, you may be able to get friends and family instead of, giving me this for my birthday. Could you make
Yes.
a donation to the Jeanette Rankin Scholarship Foundation? So yeah, I like that idea a lot.
And there's ways. You made me think about that. We're coming up on Star Party here in November. And I know I sent it out last year. I'll send it out again this year. We can actually do like a scholar fundraising page. And I want to tell those that participated last year, thank you. I mean, we raised funds just by doing what Jacqueline just shared. Even if you're not able, if you got friends that would be willing to give, all you got to do is invite them. You set up your peer-to-peer page and you can invite them over. So it's ways that we still can make it happen without it coming, directly out of your pockets. And again, I know, Louisa, you're just getting out and trying to go to work. So I don't want you to think, oh, this is the first thing they're asking. No. I just want to make sure that I plant that seed of that. These are things that we've been looking at doing for some time, and we've done it, but I just want us to kind of amp it up and do it at a greater scale and really be intentional about doing it on an annual basis, and doing it consistently. So I'm done. Not talking anymore. Hey, Suan.
Hello, it's so nice to see you.
You too.
How are
Hello.
you? How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for
Yes, very
jumping
good.
on.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not at home right now, so I use my phone. So that's why.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, on what you were saying, Latrina, too, about the Star Party this last year, I wrote to 2 of my professors, and when I was in college, I had told them about this scholar grant that I had gotten. And so I wrote to them and I told them about it and I invited them, and they both made donations. I thought that was really cool because they saw how powerful it was for me, like when I was their student. But it's just interesting, like the different people you think of. And then one other thing I wanted to say is we talked about this in the Zoom meeting before this with our current scholars and graduates. Because one of our graduates, like the day she graduated, she got a job and she signed up to start donating monthly. Yeah, that was really amazing.
Yeah.
and we were talking about, wouldn't that be so powerful, like for the scholar who is being supported by all alums, like all of us? I just think that would be the coolest thing. And even if we were like a bunch of people just giving a little bit of money together to make it happen, I just like, what a full circle feeling that would be, even for that scholar, you know, to know that they were supported by a bunch of sisters who already graduated. I love that idea. So let's see, for those of you who joined just now, Bridget and Suang, I just want to let you know, we did record this, as you probably know, probably had to push that button when you get on. So be sure to watch the recording if you can, because we talked about some great things, including if you would be letting me know if you'd be interested in joining a scholar support hour night anytime, or you know, offering maybe like to keep in touch even just once by an email or a phone call to a scholar who's interested in the area that you're working in. We talked about how we can keep in touch in this way. So I'm thinking we'll have another alumni like this on August 15th, again at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then kind of go from there just to like gauge people's interest. It's now that kind of summer is kind of here, we're taking a break from our other Zoom calls. So we're thinking some
Breezy.
ideas and
Okay, there you go. You had froze for a minute, Breezy. You're
oh,
back now.
okay, my internet, sorry. Oh, thank you, Bridget.
Bridget, yeah.
Yeah, that's great to know. Thank you. And yeah, and it really inspires our current scholars too to have that support. And we had 2 times this last semester where alums joined us, and everyone was very inspired by it. So just that connection, you know, is so powerful. So please just do keep in touch, and I hope that, you know, we can find inspiring ways that aren't, you know, stressful for you or anything, but that also inspire you to stay connected. Does anyone have any last like questions or anything before we just have about 6 minutes left of this call? Does anyone have any last questions or comments?
I just want to shout Bridget out really fast because Bridget, I think 2 years or 3 years now, has served as an application reader for us. And she brought along, look, her family with her. So, you know, when you get in, you get hooked in, you bring somebody else along. So Terrence has been reading with us. So I want to tell you, thank you. And, you know, that's just a really, really easy and effortless way to continue to give back to the foundation is helping us select the next class of scholars, which we're actually doing now. So yeah, Bridget, stay tuned for the list of new scholars for this year. Hopefully somebody you read.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And too, I just wanted to say, since I've graduated and become an alumni, I have actually gone and continued my education through my master's program. And, you know, I'm always willing to share, you know, even after finishing my bachelor's, that I was able to continue through my master's program with no student loans. I don't owe anybody any money. I really did put in work with scholarships, just finding the money in many different ways. And so I do spend even time locally talking to some of the younger people about, you know, ways you can go to school and come out without going in debt. And, you know, when I was younger, I made a lot of mistakes in those ways. And so trying to help people just understand and think about ways that they can get their education paid for is like near and dear to my heart, and being able to connect them to how to look for scholarships and things like that. So, you know, I'll be happy to share those things anytime.
Oh, that's
Bridget, there's
amazing.
one call right there. You got her.
Yeah.
Sign her up like right now. No,
And let me tell you, that is a hot topic with our scholars right now who are finishing bachelor's degrees soon. Every time I ask, what would you guys like to focus on? That's it. How do we pay for grad school? It's like the top thing every time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that would be wonderful. I will definitely email you with some fall dates to choose from.
Awesome. Thanks, Bridget.
Great. Yes, thank you. Sweet. Anything else? Any other last thoughts or questions?
Well, I had a question just real quickly. I've spent the last couple of days setting up a LinkedIn account, and it occurred to me, does JRF have a LinkedIn account? Is that a way that everyone can connect?
Yes, we got all social media platforms. Let me grab our LinkedIn right now. I'm about
Okay,
to drop it in
thanks.
the chat.
I don't really do social media, so this is all new to me, and I don't know how it works, but I'm figuring it out.
Listen and look for Breezy and I both are on there.
Yeah,
You
connect
can
with us. Yeah.
connect with us individually. Matter of fact, it's probably easier for me to try and connect with you. Louisa, what's your name on there? Is your full name?
Yeah, Louisa Thomas, that's it.
Hold on, let me just send it. I think I can send the one for. So she has probably just easier for me to send you an invite. All right, let's see if I see you, Louisa. There you go. I just sent one over. I just sent a connection. Breezy will send hers. Let me see if I can. Maybe I think I can share and just look up. We're Jeanette Rankin Foundation on there. So if you just search Jeanette, let me see what logo. I think we have the new logo on there. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this.
Yes.
So that's the
Yeah,
logo
yeah.
you're looking for, okay?
Okay.
So look
Thank you
for
so
that.
much.
Oh, no problem. And you can just follow that page. Likewise, that's the, I think it's at Rankin Foundation on Instagram and Facebook, right, Breezy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
great.
well, wonderful. Yeah, thank you all so much for taking your time to join us tonight. I really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it.
I do. So glad to see y'all, my sisters. I'm
Mhm.
excited.
Thank you for putting
Yes.
this together, and we'll see you next time in
Yeah,
August.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
right. Mark your calendar, August 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern.
All right, thank you.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone.
Thank you. Y'all have a great
All right.
evening.
Thank
You
you.
all too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So Breezy, August the 15th will be another meeting.
Yeah, the next alum meeting will be August the 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I'll send, as the time gets closer, I'll send out an email and a text.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
And I was gonna ask you or Latrina. My church, I go to Linked Up Church in Powder Springs,
Uh-huh.
and they do what they call serve projects.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do these serve projects, they do a variety of different types of projects. So some projects have been like gathering clothing and products for a women's battered shelter, or raising money for different things. Or like they recently came to my school because I work at Powder Springs. They showed up at our school with lunch for the teachers. And they're going to do some type of, they're coming there to do something this summer to help with some stuff around the school. So I'm wondering if there's a way to connect you all with Linked Up. I'm just trying to think of a way to do it. I don't know if I can email you their information or I can send them a message and CC. I'm just trying to think of a way to do it, because I want them to really understand the foundation of what the Jeanette Rankin Foundation is.
Yes.
And even like, is it still helping people with their first bachelor's degree?
Yes, ma'am.
It's
Yes,
still
ma'am.
that way?
Yeah,
Okay.
still that way. I would suggest, Tiffany, definitely an introduction is always powerful because you have the connection with them already.
Yeah.
And I would say certainly reach, connect with me. I'm a talker. So if you all ever have any events where we can come over and share information about the foundation, I'm certainly open to that. More importantly, when we're having an event, See, sometimes they have to see it. This is where, you know, with the Star Party, Tiffany, this is where if you're available, you would want to see if you can bring somebody along with
Yeah, I
you.
invited the
that-
pastor's wife to
Yeah.
this party
Yeah.
one time, and I didn't get a response from her. You know,
Okay.
I know they're so busy, but I'm
Yeah.
wondering if I reach out to her directly and see how to make that connection.
Yes.
I just need to know kind of what would be something I could really say, you know, for them to have a real understanding of the foundation.
Your story. I can help you
Okay.
real quick with that one.
Okay.
The power of our story, I'm telling you, is transformational. And
Okay.
if you just talk to them from the angle, this is what I always share. Anytime you're sharing about the foundation, if you share with them what the impact it's had for you, because they love you and have a connection with you, then it automatically almost ties them in to whatever it is that our mission is. Now, what their involvement may be may look different. You know what I'm saying? So say, for instance, even if they don't want to get involved, whereas they're coming to the Star Party, begin to think about other ways they can share the information out when we open up the scholarship portal, okay? More importantly, if they want to give and do a fundraiser around that time, they can certainly always donate. Keep in mind what I just shared with you. We're looking to do an alum scholar grant. And if a financial contribution is a way that they can maybe get tied in, that's the way. More importantly, I just talked to you about application readers. If you have a group of women that want, or men, I'm not, it doesn't matter the sex, that may be interested in supporting by way of volunteering. So just
Okay.
think about all other angles and aspects that we can introduce them to the foundation, because once they get introduced, the stories and our mission is going to get them. You know,
Yeah.
they'll get connected, but a quicker way to get them connected is through your story. So be willing
Okay.
to share your story transparently with them and just let them know that you think it would be a good fit, because you helping them understand why you want them to be involved is also just as vitally important.
Okay, yes, okay. All right, yeah, I'm gonna send an email and share my story. I've been there for a while, but I don't know the pastors personally.
Okay.
But I still, they've seen me, you know, it's a
Yeah.
large church. So, but I can still send an email, or even when I'm there, try and talk with someone at the church. And then if you all have some ideas on how, you know, alumni like myself can be involved. Because for me, it's like being a caregiver and having a job, I'ma just be transparent with y'all. I've been dealing with just even feeling guilty for having a job because of, you know, I have my son, and just feeling like, man, and should I work? Should I not work? Should I, you know, because it's so heavy, just the trying to be a teacher and trying to take care of him. But if you all have ideas for small ways that I can be involved with things that may not be very time consuming, or things that I can do, let me know. I mean, I'll try my best, especially during those breaks that I get.
Yeah.
That's good time that I can try to help out, even with me being in grad school. So you guys just, if you have ideas, just text me or call me or whatever, because I do want to be a part. I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, we
Yeah,
got
thank you so much.
And I'll be looking to hear. So just make sure, Tiffany, just CC me on it, and make
Yes,
sure I'm
I am.
included. And I mean, once you make that introduction, I'll do the follow-up. So
Okay.
I'll definitely make sure I stay on top of it. And just with my background in ministry, if I can get connected to one of them, I can certainly make it happen.
Okay. All right. Yes, I'm gonna get that email sent out. So look for it give myself a few couple of days to get it typed up, what I want to say. And
Absolutely.
I'll probably throw in some of my pictures and things like that in there, so they can really see the severity of what I'm bringing. So
Yeah.
I'll
Thank
CC
you.
on that.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you
Awesome.
so much for joining us, and
Thank
Yeah.
you.
you're doing amazing. I want to tell you that. I'm
Thank
super,
you so
I've
much.
always been proud of you, and I still am. You
Yes.
and all of your other sisters, y'all make it happen. And it's not,
Yeah.
no, it's not easy. So
Yes,
hang
it
in there.
hasn't been.
Man up.
Y'all keep me in y'all's prayers. You know, recently I was diagnosed with an aneurysm. So, and so I'm dealing with that. So just a lot of little things that's just been going on. And that's where that, you know, that guilt and things like that. But I'm just trying to stay on God's word that,
It.
you know, I'm more than a conqueror. So I'm trying to fight the good fight of faith daily.
You got it. Keep fighting. Keep
Thank
fighting.
y'all
We'll
so
fight
much.
with you. Okay,
All
my
right.
sister. Have a great evening.
You too.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.